When it comes to food preparation, a dull knife is far more dangerous than a sharp knife. Here are a couple of ways to help maintain the sharpness of your blades. Steel is a soft metal, so at a microscopic level, the blade itself actually becomes frayed. This will happen faster the more often you use your knife. It's important to realign that frayed edge in order to maintain the sharpness of your blade. A typical knife set should come with what's called a honing steel. This is a tool that helps you realign and straighten the edge of your blades. The first step in using your honing steel is having a firm grip on the steel itself. It's important to keep the edge of the blade in contact with the honing steel from heel to tip. Aim for between a 15 and 20 degree angle on the edge of your blade. A good tip in order to get the 15 to 20 degree angle is placing your thumb on the middle of the blade and then rest it onto the honing steel. This will get you approximately to that 20 degree mark, which is the best angle to sharpen your knife. You may already be familiar with the TV method of sharpening your knife, which is having the honing steel and knife and doing one of these. The TV method is flashy, but extremely dangerous. This is why they put this hilt at the end of the honing steel, which protects your fingers from potential damage. But a much better way to use the honing steel is to face it away from you. You'll want to align the heel of your knife blade on the honing steel at a 15 to 20 degree angle. Slide the blade along the honing steel from heel to tip for the full length of the honing steel. Alternate sides as you're honing your blade. This will keep your knife's edge consistent throughout. Because you're not actually sharpening the blade, merely realigning it, this should only take around 15 to 20 swipes before you have a properly realigned blade. Another method of using the honing steel is to point the steel straight down into a cutting board. This method is the safest and it's the easiest for beginners, especially when you're trying to maintain that 15 to 20 degree angle. The process remains the same, just sliding the blade along the honing steel, alternating sides for around 15 to 20 times. If you use your knives often, it's good practice to use your honing steel before every meal prep. While the honing steel is a good tool to realign and maintain your edge, in order to get a true new edge to your blade, you'll need what's called a whetstone. A typical whetstone you can purchase usually has two grit rates. The lower number is the coarse side. This is what you'll use to break down the blade. The higher number is the finer side. This is what you'll use to finish the blade. To get started using your whetstone, you will first need to submerge it in water for around 20 to 30 minutes, depending on the size of your whetstone. You'll notice that after you place your whetstone in the water, bubbles will start immediately going to the surface. The whetstone is ready to use once there are no more bubbles coming from the stone. After your stone is completely saturated with water, you'll need to find a non-slip surface in order to begin your sharpening. Start first with the more coarse side of your whetstone. Place your knife on the whetstone at a 15 to 20 degree angle, starting with the heel of your blade. Run your blade along the stone from heel to tip, maintaining an equal amount of pressure. Once you've completed around 10 strokes on one side of the blade, alternate the sides and do 10 more on the other. As the metal starts to build up at the edge of your blade, you'll start to feel what's called a burr. In order to remove the burr, you'll need to use the finer side of the whetstone. Flip it over to finish out the blade. The process is exactly the same, sliding the blade along the surface, maintaining the same angle and the same pressure. Throughout the process, it's important to keep your whetstone wet. If you notice the surface beginning to dry out, simply sprinkle some more water on the top. After using the whetstone, you'll want to resurface the whetstone using a stone fixer. This will prevent your stone from bowling. Although you won't need to use your whetstone daily, it is necessary if you want to give your knife a new edge. This is especially important if you have expensive knives in order to get the true value out of them. With these two methods, you will always have perfectly sharp knives. Hopefully this video helped you sharpen knives. If you want to watch a really cool video on how to make clear ice for under $12, we have that right here. I use a serrated blade in that, so not the best for sharpening.